There's one truth you need to remember. Discipline may hurt you in the short term, but regret will hurt you for a lifetime. Have you ever asked yourself, why are there things you know are important things you know you should do right now, yet you keep letting them slip by day after day? It's not because you lack knowledge. It's not because you lack opportunity. It's because you're losing right on your own battlefield. The battle against procrastination, against emotion, against comfort. We always think we need to wait for a little more motivation, a little more time, a little more inspiration before we act. But a little more is exactly what has stolen the lives of so many people. You look back and ask yourself, why am I still here? Why haven't I gone further? Why do I keep repeating the same things? The truth is sometimes harsh. You know, you need to change, but you still choose comfort. You know you can go further, but you keep waiting for the right feeling. And waiting is the most dangerous trap. I used to be a young man just like you are now. Full of dreams, full of plans, but missing one crucial thing. The start. At 25, I met my mentor Earl Skay. He told me something I would never forget. Jim, life doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your attitude and your actions. That was the moment I realized if I don't force myself to act, no one else can save my life. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 12 powerful principles. The principles that changed everything in my life, from a poor, frustrated young man to one of the most fortunate motivators in the world. Stay until the end of the video because Principle 7 will be the wake-up slap you need before it's too late. Principle 1. Confront your comfort zone before it quietly destroys you. Do you know what the most dangerous enemy of success is? It's not failure. It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of opportunity. It's comfort. The comfort zone is where you feel at ease. But it's also where your dreams slowly die. I remember when I was young working as a salesman for Sears. For the whole month, I just looked forward to weekends. Every Monday, I'd complain, I wish I didn't have to go to work. Today, I was living a safe, predictable life that led nowhere. No one criticized me. There were no big risks. But there was also no growth, no breakthrough, no worthy results. I had accepted a golden cage, comfortable but confining. And the scariest thing, the comfort zone doesn't destroy you in a day. It erodes you little by little. You feel fine, but you're shrinking. You feel calm, but you're postponing your future. You say, I'll start tomorrow, but that tomorrow never comes. Imagine this: a beam of light spreading in all directions, only bright enough to light up a room. But when it's focused, it becomes a laser that can cut through steel. Your energy works the same way. If you let it scatter in comfort, you'll never create greatness. The comfort zone feels good, but it's costly. It trades your future for a little relief today. When I met Earl Skay, he asked me, Jim, how long have you let fear control your life? I couldn't answer because I knew he was right. I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of uncertainty. I was afraid of being laughed at. But I had forgotten one thing. Staying in your comfort zone is also failure. It's just silent failure. You don't need to conquer the world. You just need to conquer yourself today. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Turn off the TV for an hour to learn something new. Finish what you've been avoiding. Go to the gym when you don't feel like it. Those small things are the beginning of a big life. And here's how you know you've stepped out of your comfort zone. When you feel uncomfortable, when you feel nervous, when you feel unready, that's when you're growing. Painful, but worth it. Tiring, but worth it. Hard, but necessary. One day, you'll thank yourself for leaving that soft chair to step into the challenge. You'll realize there's no pain greater than looking back at your life and realizing you never lived up to your potential. Question for you. What are you avoiding just because it's uncomfortable? A goal you're afraid you can't reach? A step forward you fear others will judge? A change you know you need but keep delaying? Be honest with yourself. Face it today. If you don't step out of your comfort zone, life will push you out but through pain. If you want to break out of your comfort zone, the first thing you must learn is to stop negotiating with that weak voice in your head. So, principle 2, stop negotiating with your excuses. There's an enemy that follows you every day. It doesn't come as a lion or a storm. It's not as scary as failure, but it's far more dangerous. It's the weak voice in your head. That voice is very convincing. You're tired. Take a break. Skipping today won't hurt anyone. You can start tomorrow. Don't push too hard. Take it easy. But do you see it? That's the voice of a mediocre life. It's like a skilled lawyer who defends your procrastination. Every time you give in, it scores a point and you lose a little strength. I used to be like that, too. When I was a salesman, some days I set a goal to find 3 new clients. But by noon, I'd tell myself, I'm too tired today. I'll do it tomorrow. The result, tomorrow became the day after. The day after became a week, then a month. I blamed the company. I blamed the economy. I blamed luck. But the truth was, I was constantly negotiating with my own laziness and losing. Do you notice this rule? The more you give in to feelings, the less control you have over your life, the more you win over yourself, the further you break through in the world. That's all there is to it. We don't fail because we lack opportunity. We fail because we choose comfort over responsibility. Earl Skay once told me, if you keep negotiating with your limits, you're signing the contract for a small life. That line woke me up. From that day, I made a rule. If I say it, I do it. If I set a goal, I move toward it. If I'm tired, I still do it just slower. No more negotiations. No more excuses. No more tomorrow. Imagine you're a general. You command advance. And your army, your will and actions keeps asking, "Are you sure, General? Maybe we rest and have a snack first." Then you'll never win a battle. You must become a general that even your own self respects. The strange thing is, you don't need to beat others. You just need to stop surrendering to yourself. Every time you ignore that lazy voice, you build a piece of self-respect. Day after day, those pieces form a person you can be proud of. When was the last time you spoiled yourself and traded your future for comfort? Remember, procrastination is silent bankruptcy. Excuses are hidden thieves. Negotiating with your feelings is the road backward. Stop. Decide again. From today, you command your emotions. Obey. A strong life begins the moment you stop listening to your weak excuses. When you stop lying to yourself, you start rebuilding the most valuable asset you have. Not money, but self-respect. Principle 3. Build self-respect by keeping small promises. Everyone wants to be confident. Everyone wants to be strong. Everyone wants to be successful. But there's a truth few dare to face. You cannot be confident if deep down you don't trust yourself. And what makes you lose trust in yourself is not the big failures, but the small promises you break to yourself every day. Tomorrow I'll wake up early. You don't do it. Today I'll go to the gym. You skip it. Tonight I'll study for an hour. You scroll TikTok for 3 hours. No one knows. No one judges. But you know and you judge yourself. I was the same way. When I worked at Sears, I set a goal to find 10 new clients each week. The first week I did it. The second week I did 7. The third week I stopped counting. I told myself, so what? No one's checking on me. But in fact, there was one person checking myself. I realized every time I broke a promise to myself, I was sending a message I'm not trustworthy. And that destroys self-respect faster than any failure. After I met Earl Skay, he asked me, "Jim, if you don't believe in you, how can life believe in you?" That question struck like lightning. From that day, I started over. No need for big promises, just real promises. I say I'll read 10 pages a day, I do it. I say I'll meet one new client, I do it. I say I'll get up at 6 a.m. I do it. No declarations, no bragging. Just do it. I learned self-respect doesn't come from words. It comes from repeated actions. You can't feel strong when you abandon yourself every day. You can't believe in the future when you break promises to the present. You can't lead others if you can't even lead yourself. I have a principle for you. Start with the smallest but truest promise. Organize your workspace. Drink enough water. Write down 3 important tasks and finish them. Spend 10 minutes learning a skill. Those small things don't look flashy, but they rebuild inner trust brick by brick. Each time you keep a small promise, you hear a voice inside. I can do it. I'm trustworthy. I can rely on myself. That's self-respect. No one can give that to you. You have to earn it yourself. What promise will you keep to yourself today? Just one promise, not many. But follow it through to the end. If you want to change your life, start by making yourself proud. Confidence isn't standing in front of others and speaking loudly. Confidence is standing alone and keeping your own promises. You'll realize when you keep your promises, there will be times you feel pain, tiredness, and want to quit. But that's not a sign to stop. That's proof you're growing. Principle 4. Use pain as proof that growth is happening. Look at your muscles. When you train, muscle fibers tear. Those tiny tears are what make them stronger. No pain, no growth. Your mind is the same. Every time you step into discomfort, put the phone down to focus. Say no to parties to work. Force yourself to finish the goal. Face ridicule. You're tearing old limits to build a better version of yourself. Pain is the upgrade process. I remember the first time I was asked to speak on stage. My head was spinning. My hands were sweaty. My voice trembled. I thought maybe I can't do this. But my mentor, Earl Schaff, said, "Jim, if it were easy, everyone would do it. And if everyone did it, no one would become great." I realized a truth. If something makes you anxious, that may be exactly what you need to do. That pain isn't a barrier. It's a signal of a leap forward. No one grows up at a party. No one breaks through on a sofa. No one becomes extraordinary under the roof of comfort. All change must pass through the storm. The storm of doubt, the storm of procrastination, the storm of fatigue, the storm of loneliness. But after every storm, a more resilient person appears. There are days you feel beaten down. That day is not a failure. It's actually your strongest day because you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway because you're tired, but you keep moving. Because you doubt yourself, but you still choose hope. That's when willpower beats emotion. That's when you forge grit. What is causing you pain, but you know it's helping you grow? Learning a hard new skill. Building a new habit. Working out to get healthy. Chasing a dream no one believes in. Don't run from it. Use it. Let the pain become a milestone proving you're moving forward. Pain doesn't come to stop you. It comes to tell you you're on the right track. And when you accept that pain is part of the journey, you'll be ready to step into something even more important. Train yourself to do hard things every day until they feel normal. Principle 5. Do hard things daily until they feel normal. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking doing only what's comfortable can lead to a great life. No, easy things only create an average life. Only hard things create greatness. And here's a key principle of success. What's hard today will become normal tomorrow if you dare to repeat it every day. Day 1, you wake at 5 a.m. hard. Day 1, you exercise exhausting. Day 1, you focus for 2 hours without checking your phone tense. Day 1, you learn a new skill. Confusing. But the important thing is every day you repeat it, that difficulty loses its power. When you keep going long enough, life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. That's the turning point. Hard habit, effort, instinct, pressure, strength. I remember the early days of my speaking journey. I, a guy afraid of crowds, hands shaking with a note sheet each sentence of battle. But I decided I'll do this every day until it becomes part of me. Day 1, I spoke for 1 minute. Day 2, 3 minutes, then 5 minutes, then 10, then 20. There was no magic. Only repeating the hard thing until it felt natural. Have you noticed long-time gym-goers no longer see it as torture? Successful people don't see discipline as a burden. Confident people don't shake when they speak. Not because the task got easier, but because they changed. Changed their muscles, changed their habits, changed their identity, changed their life. Here's an interesting truth. The more you avoid the hard thing, the scarier it becomes. The more you face it, the more normal it becomes. You fear what you never dare to try. But once you try, you realize, it's not as scary as I thought. Your mind can only guess, but your actions are what define who you are. So, how do you start? Choose one hard but small thing. Wake up 20 minutes earlier. Run 2 kilometers. Read 10 pages a day. Work with focus for 45 minutes. Finish one task you often delay. Do it every day, even when tired. Even without motivation, don't demand immediate results. You're planting a tree. Roots will grow first in silence. But one day, a whole forest will appear. Is there something you know you need to do, but you feared it for too long? Write it down. Start today. Repeat it a little every day. One day, what once terrified, you will become your greatest pride. You don't need to do the hardest thing. You just need to do a hard thing every day. And once you're used to doing hard things every day, the next thing you must learn is act even when you're not ready. Because waiting for feelings to arrive is a guaranteed formula for a life of delay. Principle 6. Act before you feel ready. Let's be honest. How many times have you known you needed to act, but told yourself, wait for a better time? Wait until I'm motivated. Wait until I have money, time, and opportunity. And then what happens? You're still standing still. Opportunities still pass by. Time still goes by and never returns. The truth is, you will never feel completely ready. No amount of preparation can erase fear. No plan can remove all risk. No burst of inspiration lasts long enough to guarantee success. The human brain is programmed to protect you. Avoid danger. Avoid failure. Avoid embarrassment. Avoid the unknown. But the problem is all great things lie in the unknown. If you only act when you feel ready, you'll live your whole life in the comfort zone and never break through. I remember the first time I stood on a stage to inspire others. I was shaking. I was afraid I'd say the wrong thing. I was afraid the audience would laugh. But if that day I had waited until I wasn't afraid, then today you wouldn't know who I am. It was precisely because I acted before I was ready that I discovered my true self. Earl Skay told me, Jim, people don't grow up first and then dare to act. People dare to act and then they grow up. Remember that greatness doesn't come from emotion. Greatness comes from decisions. Feelings change by the minute. But when you decide to act, you create momentum. You start. Focus appears. You move forward. Confidence appears. You persist. Results appear. Motivation isn't something you wait for. Motivation is something you create in the process of working. You don't need to know the next 10 steps. Just start with the first step. You don't need to say, I will do this perfectly. Say, I will start doing this today. You'll be amazed by the power of 5 seconds of courage. One small action, one timely decision. Ask yourself, how many opportunities in your life have disappeared just because you waited until you were ready? A job you haven't dared to try, a project you haven't dared to start, a dream you haven't dared to pursue. You don't fail because you lack ability. You fail because you don't start. Within the next 24 hours, what are you willing to do that you've postponed for too long? Send an email asking for an opportunity. Build your first YouTube channel, hit the gym, learn English, start a business, choose one thing, and start right after this video. Don't wait to be ready before you act. Act and then you'll be ready. But remember, the moment you act, that voice in your head will come back and tell you to stop. It will justify, beg, and persuade you that now isn't the right time. So, Principle 7, catch your excuses the moment they start to speak. There's a con artist living in your head. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It always tries to make you feel safe by doing less. It always hands you a very reasonable-sounding reason to delay. You're tired today. Take a break. It's okay. You can deal with it tomorrow. Just this once. Sound familiar? That's not the truth. That's the trickery of the comfort zone. Every time you accept it, you get a little weaker. Every time you reject it, you get a level stronger. Back then, I kept losing this battle too. I promised to read every night. But at night, I negotiated just 10 minutes of TV. 10 minutes became 1 hour. 1 hour became 3 hours. Then I went to bed disappointed in myself. And the next day repeated exactly the same. I felt stuck. But in fact, I was deceived from the very first minute when that tiny voice started talking. This law always holds. The longer excuses talk, the more they win. The more you reply, the more you lose. Want to win? Cut it off at the very first word. Remember, excuses don't argue, they provoke. Excuses don't shout, they whisper like a good friend. Excuses don't tell you to stop, they tell you to slow down. That's the trap. No one loses a goal because of one delay. People lose their dreams because of 1,000 tiny delays that seem harmless. Earl Skay told me, when you make excuses, you're negotiating for an average life. You can't live big if you keep making small excuses. The issue isn't that you can't do it. The issue is that you believe the sweet lies that are holding you back. So, what's the secret act before the excuse finishes its sentence? When your brain says, do it tomorrow. Do it right now. When your brain says, too tired, just do it slower. When your brain says not ready, do it until you're ready. Don't negotiate. Don't ask permission. Don't ask your feelings to agree. You are the boss. Feelings are the soldiers. No role reversal. But catch red-handed exercise tomorrow when you're about to open social media instead of working in bed an extra 5-10 minutes. Skip the important task. Immediately ask yourself, is this truly a reason? Just laziness pretending to be philosophy. You'll see that 80% of the thoughts you believe are just a mask of ease. Which excuse will you catch red-handed today? The excuse for not working out yet? The excuse for not starting the project yet? The excuse for delaying your dream? Pick the one excuse you use most and smash it the moment it appears. You don't lose because you lack strength. You lose because you believe the weak words in your own head. And when you stop making excuses, you'll see yourself doing more. But that also means you'll have to face real pressure. And that's exactly what creates winners. Principle 8. Create pressure on yourself before life does it for you. People have a dangerous habit only changing when the pain is great enough. Only growing when things collapse enough. Only acting when there's no other choice. Lose a job, then worry about saving. Get sick, then worry about health. Get left by a partner, then worry about self-improvement. Wait until the deadline, then scramble to work. Does that sound familiar? Don't let life force you to change through pain. Pressure yourself to change proactively. Back then, when I was at Sears, I kept telling myself, next month, I'll try harder. It's okay to take it slow. Until I looked back and realized a whole year passed and I hadn't moved a step. Everything was exactly the same. Only time had disappeared. When there's no pressure, people get lazier standards, drop dreams, get put in a drawer. It's not because you lack ability, but because there's no reason strong enough to use that ability. Earl Skay once told me a wake-up line, Jim, when life gets too easy, that's a sign you're living too small. We weren't born just to exist. We were born to rise. And pressure is the tool that creates that rise. Try observing ordinary metal, nothing special, but under immense pressure, it becomes a sharp steel sword. Ordinary coal, no one cares. But under tremendous pressure, it becomes a diamond. Pressure doesn't destroy value. Pressure reveals the true value inside you. Winners don't wait for pressure to arrive. They create it. They set deadlines before anyone asks. They set goals higher than the standard. They hold themselves accountable without reminders. They fight as if today is the deadline. They train as if tomorrow is the stage. They prepare as if opportunity could arrive at any moment. The most important question here: do you want life to push you to change, or do you want to lead your life yourself? Which side you choose determines who you become. Today's challenge for you: one guard. Set a clear deadline for your most important goal and stick to it as if someone is checking on you daily to wait and install public commitment. Tell others to increase accountability. 3. Cut off escape routes. Leave yourself only the path forward. You'll be surprised how much more you accomplish when there's pressure. In which area do you most need to create pressure? Work, health, learning, finance, the dream you've buried for so long. Don't wait for life to wake you up with a shock. Wake yourself up with discipline and high standards. Pressure isn't what makes you collapse. It's what helps you stand taller. And once you've created pressure, you'll realize a skill that determines the outcome of all efforts. The ability to control focus, not just when you're excited, but even when you're at your most bored and tired. Principle 9. Train your focus to obey you, not your mood. This world isn't short on smart people, but it's severely short on people who can stay focused for long. People aren't lacking. They just break concentration too quickly. They start with passion, but quit because of distraction. They have great ideas, but can't sit still for 30 minutes to turn them into reality. That's why ordinary people stay ordinary. Their focus obeys their feelings instead of their goals. Our brains are designed to avoid boredom and chase quick pleasure. Message comes in, look, notification pops up, check. Something new appears, jump right in. Focus is a skill, and skills must be trained. I still remember my early days practicing speeches. Just 10 minutes and I'd get up for a drink of water. 5 minutes later, go check the mail. Then even admiring a pen felt interesting. I learned a lesson. The mind always wants to escape effort, especially when the task matters, wants success. You must teach your mind to sit down and do what needs to be done. Here's the biggest difference between the exceptional and the majority. The average person only focuses when they feel inspired. The extraordinary person focuses even when they don't feel like it. That's called focus. Discipline. The discipline of focus. Look at a laser. Light scattered everywhere only illuminates. But when it converges to one point, it cuts steel. Your energy is the same. If you don't focus, even doing many things at once won't create big results. Don't race on the number of tasks. Race on the depth of focus. So, how do you train focus? 1. One place, one task, one goal, no multitasking. Multitasking equals splitting effort and killing quality. 2. The 5010 or 4515 rule. 4550 minutes of deep focus, 15 minutes of recovery break. You'll get twice as much done as someone who sits for 3 hours with a constantly pulled mind. 3. Turn off all notifications while working. Don't let your phone run your life. Important line: if you can't control your phone, you can't control your future. 4. Write the desired outcome before you start. Not sit at the desk, but sit to finish something. 5. Observe feelings, but don't obey them. Feelings may be tired, bored, but the goal still needs you to finish it. How many opportunities have you lost just because you lost focus? A class, a project, a contract, a relationship. Focus is the new currency of this era. Whoever controls attention wins. Don't wait for the mood to focus. Focus and the mood will follow. And when you've trained your focus, when you do hard things every day, when you act even when you don't feel like it, you'll see something deeper. You're changing not just habits but identity. Principle 10. Redesign your identity through repeated action. There's a saying I want you to remember. You don't get what you want. You get what matches the person you believe you are. This is why many people try to change but return to old habits. Set new goals but life stays the same. It's not that they lack willpower. It's not that they lack time. It's not that they lack opportunity. They just don't change the inner identity. You can force yourself to wake up early for a few days, but if you still think you're not a morning person, you'll crawl back into bed. You can force yourself to hit the gym for a week, but if you still think you're not athletic, you'll quit. You can force yourself to focus today. But if you still think you're a procrastinator, you'll keep procrastinating. To short-term actions can't beat long-standing self-beliefs. To change your life, you must change who you think you are. So, how does a new identity appear from small pieces of evidence repeated daily? Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you cast a vote for a disciplined person. Every time you act before you feel ready, you cast a vote for a courageous person. Every time you focus when you don't want to, you cast a vote for a steadfast person. Identity is built one action vote at a time. You don't need to transform in a day. You just need to win one vote at a time. I used to be a poor, shy, directionless young man. But each day I wrote one more speech. Each week I practiced speaking to a few people. Each month I improved a bit. Then one day I realized I was no longer the fearful guy I used to be. I had become a real speaker. Not because of luck. Not because of natural talent, but because small actions created a new identity. Have you noticed smokers say, "I'm a smoker"? The body follows. Chronic procrastinators say, "That's just how I am." Life mirrors exactly that. The language you use with yourself shapes the life you live. Change from "I'm trying to wake up early." "I'm the kind of person who always wakes up early." "I'm trying to quit procrastinating." "I'm the kind of person who acts now without waiting." You're not acting to pretend to be someone. You're repeating to become the someone. Identity shift Formula 1 drove. Define who you want to become. A disciplined person, a focused person, a successful person. 21. Ask each morning what small action today proves. I am that person. 3. A1. Repeat daily without asking your feelings for permission. That's how you reconstruct identity. That's how you upgrade your life. What does the greater version of you live like each day? Write down one small action. Start today, so the future knows you truly chose to change. Each action is a vote. You vote for the person you want to become. But as you change identity, old habits will try to pull you back, and they'll say a line you know too well. "I'll do it tomorrow." How many times have you heard that it's time to kill it for good? Don't let later steal your future. If there's a word more dangerous than failure, a word that's killed more dreams than poverty, it's this one. Tomorrow. Not never. Not I quit. Just simply, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'll do it later. Tomorrow I'll start being serious. But the truth is, tomorrow rarely comes the way you think it will. Tomorrow often disappears along with today's opportunities. I once met a man who said, "Jim, I'll change, just not today." A year later, I met him again. Everything in his life was the same. Still complaining about work, still short on time, still full of unfinished dreams. He said, "Jim, I'm going to do it." Really, just not yet. Every time he delayed, he didn't realize he was signing a lifetime contract with procrastination. A year only more regret, a future stolen by a single word tomorrow. Face this truth. Tomorrow isn't a plan. Tomorrow is a sweet lie. It keeps inviting you to delay, and you keep believing it again and again. Here's the trap. You don't feel wrong. You don't feel like you're losing anything, but you're losing the golden time of your life. I used to live that way, waiting for tomorrow to save my life. But tomorrow only arrived when I learned this lesson. You can postpone everything, but time will never postpone you. How you live today is the answer to who you'll become 5 years from now. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. The painful truth: you don't lack ability. You don't lack opportunity. You only lack decisiveness today. If what you want truly matters, then why aren't you doing it right now? If you say you dream of something but your actions don't prove it, then that's not a dream. That's self-comfort. 3-minute kill tomorrow exercise. In the next 3 minutes after watching this video, choose one thing you've been delaying for too long. Too long. Take the first small step immediately. Send the message. Make the call open. The document read the first page. 3 egg. Don't aim for perfection. Just start. Small action today. Big change in the future. What's something you know you must do but have let wait for too long? Name it, then start. Because if you don't start now, you'll repeat today for the next 5 years. If not today, then when? If not you, then who? And when you learn to say today, when you stop compromising with procrastination, you'll regain the most valuable thing a person can ever possess: the power to master yourself. That's the final part, the essence of it all. Principle 12. The reward is power over yourself. Most people think the reward of discipline is success, money, fame, big opportunities. Those are byproducts, not the real reward. The ultimate reward, the most valuable thing you gain from forcing yourself to do what must be done, is this: the power to master yourself. Because most people live their whole lives as slaves. Slaves to emotions, slaves to temptation, slaves to procrastination, slaves to fear. They know what they should do, but they don't do it. They know what's good for them, but they still choose the weaker option. And then they ask, why am I still stuck? I was once one of them. I let emotions decide my every step. I let fear control my future. I let comfort steal my dreams. Until one day, I understood if I don't master myself, life will master me. At that moment, I changed how I lived. I began giving myself orders. Get up early when I wanted to sleep and study. When I didn't want to open the book, meet clients even when I was nervous. Say no to time wasters. But I stopped asking my feelings for permission. I only asked, does this take me closer to the future I want? If yes, do it. If no, eliminate it. Each day you win over yourself by 1%. You're creating a new person, stronger, clearer, more confident. No one can buy that feeling. No one can give it to you. You must earn it yourself. This is the turning point. When you say, I will do it, and you do it. When you say, I will change, and you change. When you say, I will become someone new. And every small action proves it. That's when you become dangerous in the best way. Because you're no longer ruled by fleeting emotions. You've become the leader of your own life. The real breakthrough isn't when you achieve success. The real breakthrough is when you look in the mirror and say, I can trust myself. The day you realize you no longer make excuses. You no longer need motivation. You work even without excitement. You keep going even when things go wrong. That's the day you're free. Free from procrastination. Free from self-doubt. Free from your weaker self. You've become the hardest person to defeat, the one who controls themselves. Do you want to live your life enslaved by emotions or live it in self-mastery? That choice isn't in tomorrow. It's right now in your next decision. Success isn't about conquering the world out there. It's about conquering the weakness within you. You've walked a powerful journey today. Together, we've explored 12 principles that help you master yourself. Step out of your comfort zone. Stop negotiating with procrastination. Keep small promises to build self-respect. Use pain as proof of growth. Do hard things daily until they feel normal. Act before you feel ready. Catch your excuses the moment they speak. Create pressure before life does. Train focus to obey your goals. Redesign identity through repeated action. Don't let later steal your future and the greatest reward: power over yourself. If these lessons resonated with you, remember, you don't need to change your whole life in a day. You just need to win against yourself today. You deserve a stronger version of you. And it starts right now with your next decision. Take action now. Hit like to spread the right mindset. Subscribe to Jim Rohn Treasures for the next lesson. Share this video with someone who needs it. And comment below. Which of the 12 principles will you apply today? First, I truly want to hear your answer. If you can master one day, you can master your entire life. Start today. See you in the next video. Keep becoming the best version of yourself.